Justice League. We are facing an existential threat to the planet. Our only option is to destroy Darkseid.
Bow before me.
A global war means everyone on the planet is at risk.
You're gullible fools. Darkseid is playing you.
The humans earned their fate.
I know you hate me, but I wouldn't be here if it wasn't necessary.
I'm completely on your side now.
No more planning. Just do it.
We can't quit. The Justice League doesn't quit.
Henshaw may be gone, but this was still the boldest move we've seen from Apokolips yet.
Darkseid won't stay down for long, and we can't play defense forever.
Then we agree. We're going to have to take this fight to his doorstep.
Excellent. Count me in, team.
Okay, who left the front door open?
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my Justice League Dark Apokolips War trailer. There's a bunch of Easter eggs, and I actually think that they're borrowing from some of the deleted Justice League sequels, the live-action Justice League sequels, when it used to be a trilogy. Some of this may actually seem familiar if you know about a lot of the deleted scenes from the original Justice League movies, so I'll explain as we go along. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the Easter egg videos. We're doing a movie ticket giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your favorite moment from the trailer on the video. I know you're asking, why is the title so complicated? Why didn't they just call it Justice League Darkseid War? That'd be a badass title for a movie. I think the reason why they call it Justice League Dark Apokolips War is just to let you know that it's a Justice League Dark crossover movie because of all the Constantine stuff, and he's a big main character during the film. So if you're a big fan of that character, it sounds like he's going to be huge during this next Darkseid War style story. As you see from the pitch, you basically have some of the Justice League turning evil. It sounds like that's an anti-life equation, and Darkseid just MCs a bunch of the Justice League characters, particularly Batman, like you see him apologizing to Damian Wayne. I know I'm the last person you want to trust, and of course Damian Wayne just sasses him through the entire trailer. And here's the crazy thing, if you guys didn't see the slate of the title at the end of the movie with the date and all that stuff, it's actually a rated R movie. That's right, a Justice League rated R movie, if you ever thought that that would happen. My guess is they just go super hardcore with it. That's the only reason why these animated movies wind up being rated R. They did Batman Killing Joke as a rated R movie, but that's obviously a very, very hardcore comic book story. So when you heard that they were doing Killing Joke, it was easier to understand why they might make it rated R. But hearing that just a regular, typical, bigger Justice League movie is rated R is a bit of a surprise. Nowadays, because the Joker movie blew up so big, made over $1 billion, and the DC Black Label seems like it's going to be a thing in the live-action universe, now DC rated R movies don't seem so weird. Digging deeper into the Easter eggs and deleted scenes from the other Justice League movie, it sounds like the pitch is similar to the plot of the cancelled Justice League sequel when Justice League was still planned as a trilogy of movies, and I'm talking about the live-action Justice League. After all that stuff happened, they came out and they explained what the other two movies were supposed to be in that planned trilogy. So the second movie was going to be their Empire Strikes Back with kind of a downer ending, with Darkseid coming to Earth at the beginning of the movie, destroying everything, enslaving Superman using the anti-life equation after he killed Lois Lane, just to keep Superman on Team Darkseid. That was all supposed to play into the Batman v Superman Knightmare sequence that was supposed to be a vision of the future that came to pass in the second Justice League movie. All that second movie, Darkseid War stuff, Superman anti-life equation was supposed to set up the concept of the Flash time travel scene in Batman v Superman during Justice League 3. So in that third movie, the Flash was going to go back in time with Cyborg's help and Batman to warn Batman in the past to save Lois Lane. Obviously, we never saw any of that come to pass. There was this other plot line where they had tried it before, and they were stuck in this time loop. And the first time that they tried to go back into the past, it didn't work, which is why all this terrible stuff happened during Justice League 2. So when we get to Justice League 3, they try the other point in time to go back to. That winds up being successful. Batman saves Lois Lane from Darkseid. Superman never succumbs to the anti-life equation, and they're able to form the full Justice League with the help of Hal Jordan and the full Green Lantern Corps, who would have shown up earlier in the trilogy. Most of that stuff never got filmed. That was just the story that they wrote that they would have started shooting back in 2017, 2018 after that first Justice League movie came out. Kevin Smith did this whole long story about how he saw a bunch of Jim Lee's concept art. That's right, Jim Lee, who's now like the sole publisher of DC because of all the stuff going on behind the scenes at DC Comics, did all this stuff for the Justice League trilogy when it was still supposed to be a trilogy. While they were making that first Justice League movie, the studio canceled the trilogy plans, turned it into one movie, which is the one we saw in theaters, so it sounds like the DC animated people loved some of those story concepts and decided to pick up on that and do their own version of it as a rated R movie. Like, okay, we'll do this Darkseid coming to Earth, taking over everything, all hope is lost, some of the Justice League get MC'd by the anti-life equation, then a bunch of the villains have to work with the heroes in common cause to save the Earth and get rid of Darkseid. Like the Reign of the Supermen post-credit scene. So if you haven't watched DC animated movies in a while, there's sort of a Justice League line of continuity with the Superman films in the last couple of years. Some of the DC animated films are sort of one-off and they stand on their own, but some of them are connected. And that includes The Death of Superman, Reign of the Supermen, and now this sequel, Justice League Dark, Apokolips War. There was a Reign of the Supermen post-credit scene where Lex Luthor just comes onto the Justice League's satellite and says, "Hey team, what's going on? We're ready to defeat Darkseid, we know he's coming." Obviously they're pissed about it because this is just happening now and he's been their villain for a long time. But a while ago in the comics, they did a storyline called Justice League Darkseid War, and during that, Lex Luthor also does work with the Justice League to try and save everyone. They take it in a bunch of really twisty ways, trying to use the Lex Luthor character in a way that you haven't seen him before. They play him a little bit more like an anti-hero, a little more complicated, but he still really does not like Superman. One of the great Easter eggs you kind of notice in the background here too, though, is that Lex Luthor does not do things out of the goodness of his heart. He's obviously using this as an opportunity to turn public opinion in his favor. He usually uses situations like this, particularly when Justice League characters go ham on everyone else and they turn against each other, so that later, when the disaster is over and they win the day, he can go to the public looking like a hero. "See, I worked with the Justice League to get rid of Darkseid. I'm so amazing now. I'm such a hero. Elect me to public office." Then he can pull a very Spider-Man Far From Home post-credit scene style twist where he shows everyone footage of Justice League characters doing evil things under the control of Darkseid, although he doesn't tell them about Darkseid controlling them with the anti-life equation. You have to imagine a DC version of J. Jonah Jameson just shaking his fist complaining about Justice League characters, trying to turn public opinion against them. That's a very classic Lex Luthor style twist to pull. And if you're a big Justice League Dark fan, there's obviously a lot of Justice League Dark stuff going on during this with Constantine going up against Darkseid, trying to use his magic against him. I really like this scene here where it seems like he's trying to read Flash's mind and seems like he sees a vision of Flashpoint. Like, oh wow, some stuff has happened. We don't know what's going on. The universe has already been rebooted once. But if you're a big fan of Justice League Dark, it actually sounds like J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot operation is going to be working on some kind of Justice League Dark movie, but I don't know who would direct that, who they would cast in it, if they would use Matt Ryan as their live-action version of Constantine. It would be really cool if they did that. Crisis on Infinite Earths on the DC TV shows kind of tried to bring all that stuff together with the movie stuff because of the big Ezra Miller Flash crossover with TV Flash. Probably one of the best moments from Crisis on Infinite Earths, but when it comes to the live-action movies, I wouldn't hold your breath too much about a lot of the TV characters appearing in the live-action movies. And speaking of Darkseid, Tom King said that they're almost done writing the New Gods movie. I believe there are a couple of drafts in. They've been working on it for a while now. The movie is based on his Mr. Miracle run, which is amazing. If you haven't read that and you're a really big fan of the comics, do check it out. Tom King has been doing some fantastic stuff. In related Jack Kirby stuff, if we're talking about New Gods, Darkseid stuff, Jack Kirby over at Marvel, the very first Marvel Eternals trailer is probably going to drop in the next month or two. So of course I'll do videos for that movie when we get it. We find out what it's actually going to look like. But everyone, let me know in the comments, what do you think about them doing a rated R Justice League animated movie? It just blows my mind that they would even try that. The internet went a little crazy this past week because of Henry Cavill Wolverine stuff. Here's the video explaining what was going on with that, what the reality is, and click here for that brand new Spider-Man 3 announcement. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.